I'm Tiffany Lauderdale Phillips, and I own Wild Geese Bookshop. I opened it in 2016. And I think we're here today because I am an attorney as well. I originally in Kentucky and in Indiana. I'm licensed in both states, but this has been my primary focus right now. We opened in 2016. We moved here because my husband took a job at Franklin College. I was working remote for a company managing their litigation portfolio, and there was no bookstore here. In fact, there were a lot fewer independent bookstores throughout Indiana in 2016 than there are now. There's been a growth. And I wanted my family to have a place to go. We love libraries and we love bookstores, and there wasn't one. So it started small. I always joke it was like a reverse business mullet because there was like the party in the front and my little office in the back, and I was working for a company remote, so I didn't need a whole lot of office space, but I wanted to get out in the community and get to know my neighbors a little bit better. And so it sort of grew from there. So I did both. I worked for that company for a number of years and continued working as a lawyer for a while. It's really just been in the last couple of years that I've not been taking on that kind of work and just been focused on this. Although I use those skills every day. It was helpful for me for a lot of the paperwork and the things that you have to do to figure out where do I begin. I think your training as an attorney too teaches you that you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to know how to ask for help and how to research and where to look to find answers. So I think those skills were really helpful. I think it's also helpful because it's a form of advocacy when you're helping people find words for their experiences or find words that feel transformative when they're going through a certain time. Bookselling is very similar in that way. And, there were times when I clerked for a judge in my early days of my career where you would see people in court being represented by counsel and like their necks would turn red and because they couldn't get out what they wanted to say. And so as an attorney, I always focused on, I want to make sure that my client feels that they've been heard and seen and that they say what they need to say or that I am advocating for them in that behalf. And in bookselling, it's kind of similar because you're really trying to listen to them and make sure they feel seen and heard and that you're helping them, kind of in their day-to-day. And the great thing about being a bookseller is you're meeting people where they are, not where they were 6 months ago. We have a lot of author events, and I love doing that because you get people out meeting other bookish friends. They get to meet their authors, and we try to make it a really great community experience. We also do something called Knit at Night, where we partner with the local knit shop and the Art Craft Theater. So this in April, we'll be showing Sense and Stability. And it's a lights up show, and you bring your knitting or your sketching or whatever it is you want to work on creatively. And we show the film, and then we'll have like Jane Austen books for sale. But what I like about it is it's community building. It brings people out. I think we're so much better when we're together in real life. I think a lot of the loneliness and sadness that we see right now is because people are sort of behind screens, behind doors. There aren't as many porches on fronts of houses now, so you're not meeting your neighbors. And we try to be the antithesis of that. We try to be like welcoming and let's get people together and learn from each other and come sit on the porch with a book and that kind of thing. So yeah, we have a lot that we're excited about, but we always are doing a gut check of, is this meaningful in the community? I don't want people to feel like, oh, you should shop indie because it's good for you, like vegetables. I want them to feel like I shop indie because it gives me a meaningful experience that adds to the quality of my life. And being an attorney, you're often with people on their worst days, and we are here too. I think what I like about being in this space is that you feel like you're supporting people in a way that's nourishing on those hard days.